Could Donald Trump really end birthright citizenship? Isn't that unconstitutional? Well, those are two separate questions, so let's talk about both of them. Is it unconstitutional? Yes. The 14th Amendment grants birthright citizenship to anyone born in the United States. Donald Trump is trying to make an exception out of the clause stating those subject to the jurisdiction of the United States. However, the only exception to that is effectively diplomats. This is how the United States Supreme Court has interpreted the clause subject to the jurisdiction of the United States. And it's important because Donald Trump cannot simply change the definition of something in the Constitution via an executive order. If immigrants, whether coming in legally or illegally, were not subject to the jurisdiction of the United States, that would mean they could not be charged with any crimes under American law, which is the case for diplomats. Picture the uproar, for example, if Joe Biden were to have said, hey, here's the new interpretation of the well-regulated militia clause in the Second Amendment that we're going to use to ban all sorts of firearms. That does not mean Donald Trump will not get away with doing this. First of all, there is a very compliant Supreme Court which does not give a flying fuck about precedent. More likely, the Supreme Court will indeed strike this down. But what would happen if Donald Trump were to order executive departments to ignore that Supreme Court ruling and say, hey, we're not going to issue Social Security cards to these people or special Social Security cards indicating they're not citizens and will not grant passports to these people? Practically speaking, what could be done to stop Donald Trump from doing this? He cannot be charged with any crime he commits as President of the United States. The Supreme Court has made that very clear. And the Republicans in Congress have made it very clear there is nothing he could do that they would remove him from office.